All right, I think that means we're good to go. What's up, everybody? My name's Glock. I'm a Monkey Ball speedrunner, and I'm here today to play Super Monkey Ball Deluxe in 2 Ultimate Mode. Basically, it's a ROM hack of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe to make it playable on Wii. And that makes it so that we have the GameCube controller instead of the piece of junk Xbox controller. Lets us do a lot of more intricate strats than you could do on the Xbox, which has just made it overall a lot more optimizable and interesting. And with me today I have a good friend and competitor, Peter Zink. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, yes, hi, I'm Peter. Yeah, I'm a fellow Monkey Ball speedrunner. I also enjoyed this ROM hack a lot when it came out. And yeah, I'm excited to help show off what's going on here today. I think you guys are in for a good show. This guy is definitely the ultimate person to show off this gaming category. He likes it a lot. It's going to be good fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's basically 300 levels, but we use warp goals, so it ends up being 267. Just over an hour long. It's basically like the, for lack of a better word and pun, it's the ultimate Monkey Ball experience. So I think I'm ready to... Oh, wait, there was a bid war for Monkey, right? I have to pick somebody. Who would that be?
There was, in fact, a bid war for Monkey, and Mimi is the winner, so Mimi will be our monkey for this adventure.
I don't think I've ever gotten Mimi in one of these. I've done... I think I've had a Monkey bid war in every run I've ever done. I've never gotten Mimi before. That's awesome.
Kind of a Mimi main these days, honestly. It's a good choice.
I think I'm ready to go. When everybody else is.
Ready when you are.
Cool. Does the timer just start when I start? Is there a countdown?
You're gonna go ahead and count us in. It's on you to let us know when to get things started.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll go on go. 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. Okay, so we start off in beginner mode. You basically work your way through beginner, then advanced, then expert, then master. Which sounds really relaxing because you get to start with beginner, but beginner's actually way harder than advanced in terms of like playing well, because there's a lot of like really intricate pause strats that are really easy to mess up. But yeah, it's for the most part pretty relaxed early on. First 10 is really easy, but then we start getting into some harder stuff. We'll be working our way through it.
Yeah, I have to say, the stuff that you do in beginner in particular is kind of wild and crazy. Can't think of a lot of other people who are doing it.
Yeah.
You were the first one to bring like the famous curve bridge frames into a category of this length, which I'm sure we'll get a chance to see a little bit of.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. They're basically.
You only get to try it once, right? In beginner.
Yeah, on beginner 29 curve bridge, there's a massive pause strat that saves like 10 seconds. It's really difficult to hit, and if you don't get it first try, it actually stops working. Like it does not work on second try or beyond. So it's like you either get it or you don't. And I've never actually hit it in a marathon setting before for this run, but I'm hoping I can because it's really cool. It's just it's rare because it's really hard and you have to get it first try. It's just you send it or you don't. It's really tough. And that whole stretch of beginner 20 to 30 has a lot of like really precise 1 or 2 frame pause strats that end up being like really annoying because they only save 1 or 2 seconds each, but you kind of have to do all of them because together they save so much time. It's like you could drop any one of them, but I just prefer not to. It's it's a little weird.
Oh yeah, and for those wondering, the reason why some particular strats in challenge mode end up only working on the first try is because the speed in which you hold on.
What's up? Oh, yeah, this is all.
I'm a bit quiet on stream. You can talk right now.
Okay. Escalators here, a little bit of a luck stage. We just hope for good collision on those stairwells. It can basically range anywhere between like a 43 and a 51, depending on how lucky you are. I got a pretty run-of-the-mill 47, normal. Nothing crazy. Nothing great, nothing bad. But yeah, I think what Peter was getting at is the first load thing is dependent on the speed at which you kind of spin into the level. When you see a level start, you see me kind of holding left, or holding A to get the stage to spin in, like kind of twists. And on second load, it spins in a lot faster, which makes certain like movement cycles not quite exactly the same, which functionally wouldn't change the way the stage plays at all. But when it comes to super precise multi-frame pause strats, it does mess them up. This is actually the first pause strat in the run here. Looking for 78 and then 51 or 50. And then 06 here. Let's just get right up on the wall and do that. Yeah. Ending was a little scuffed. You're not actually supposed to fall off the right side, but made it work regardless, which is pretty cool.
That was a good explanation, by the way. I honestly wasn't sure how I was gonna go about that, so lucky break for me.
You can go ahead and explain pausing if you want. I know you have a lot of experience doing that. We haven't actually explained it yet.
Okay, I might in a sec, but is there a way you could turn me up on your OBS end, by the way? Is what one of the hosts are wondering.
I could turn you up a little bit, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think I've done that now. You should be a little louder.
Hello. Anyway, if I might be loud enough, pausing, the reason why that works and what it entails is basically this game is totally deterministic. Whenever you enter a stage and then hold the exact same inputs at the exact same time, like a task might, you get exactly the same result. And we are able to capture that by using the mostly super reactive pause menu, in which you can pause and rebuffer frame by frame, and the timer at the top, which has a centisecond timer, which corresponds exactly to each frame in the game. So you are able to recreate identical inputs again and again in a consistent setting in real time, thanks to these two things. And it lets us task, basically, as players.
Like here
really fast,
we hit 2 exact frames, it just lets us skip the entire stage. You're going to see that a lot throughout this run. Especially in this split of 10 in particular. Like you'll see it on the next stage, Exam A as well. And then a couple more. It's just going to be throughout the entire run. It is very precise. Like if I'm on 01 and I need to get to 00, that means I'm pausing at exactly 1 frame, 1/60th of a second, which is obviously not easy to do consistently. Like there I went from 51 to 50. That was exactly a 1/60th of a second input, but gotta be able to hit them consistently, or consistently enough, or else you're kind of sunk in this game, which is always fun. We're coming up on Curve Bridge. We're kind of in the Curve Bridge waiting room right now, being B29. I'm excited. It's 7 frames. Gotta hit them all back to back, and then a difficult adjustment as well.
All right. Are you you want to hear someone talking while you do that, or total focus silence? This is probably one of the more important strats.
I think I'd want to focus on it once I get into it. Because it is quite annoying to try and hit. Took a silly death on sliders there, just bonked the goalpost, didn't line myself up properly. Oh, here's another pause strat. It's not very important because if you miss it, like you don't really lose that much time, but it's kind of cool if you get it because it does save a little bit. Good for 91 over here. This should work. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Always a fun one. Alright, Curve Bridge.
Alright, take the stage, do your best. Luckily there's some cool movement too, if it doesn't end up panning out, so.
Oh, I missed the second to last one. That is so sad.
Dang.
That happens. But now we just do the movement.
One, like the last, super tight one, too?
Yeah, the last one. The last frame is a 2-frame range, so... The last frame that I am kind of in question of missing, I missed, unfortunately. Now we just get to do the movement instead. We just take these turns as kind of tightly as possible. You don't have to go crazy on big grinds or bonks or anything. You just have to... As long as you have good movement, you should get there comfortably in time.
Which is about 10 seconds faster than just moving casually. If you get there barely in time, you get to get a 30 instead of like a 19.
Yeah.
20.
And to our audience, I know that we're still showing up a bit low. If you could, Glock, if you could try to turn up Discord for both of us to just as high as it will go. I'm so sorry to everyone that we didn't get this sorted out before the run, but thank you so much for bearing with us on this one.
It's all good. I turned you up a little bit. I'll do it some more after this level. This level's really exciting. I'm really in question of dying here. Just kidding. Walls are a little high. Alright, I now have Discord.
Was that deathless?
That was deathless.
I don't know if I've ever seen that level deathless before. GG.
Well, this is a cute level.
It was totally bonkless, though. It was kind of incredible. 45 is a good time to get on that stage, I won't lie. when you sit on that stage, you have the difference of like getting a second or a no second based on how well you make those turns. So it's a fun one to focus up on. True speedrun stage.
Yeah, this stretch 30 to 40 has some really cool stages in it, just in terms of how they look. I really love this stage, Sewer. It's really satisfying every time. It's not not super flashy, but it's really fun to do, and it just looks good and feels good. And that was really clean.
Sewer is one of the best examples of Deluxe exclusive stages.
Yeah.
They like to make a lot of maze stages in this particular, like, new pack of stages that came with Deluxe. But the ones that you can actually play around with and fly all over the place and skip usually end up being some of the coolest stages in Monkey Ball.
Speaking of
There's a couple others
which,
that like it.
the next stage is Veerfield, which is like one of the most famous kind of meme-like strats in this game because it's so goofy and funny. Basically, you see that like background, that rock back there? We're gonna use it and hit it and get to the goal.
Incredible.
Like that.
Wait, that actually works?
Yeah, you can use the background collision to get to the goal. It's the only stage you do it on, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Monkey Ball's kind of funny. As long as the vertical Fallout planes, like, as long as you're not too low, in particular, when it comes to background collision, a lot of it actually is solid. So if the stage's Fallout plane is like big enough, because the stage itself is big enough, you can actually just interact with pieces of the background.
Yeah, there's plenty of stages that you can.
Strats.
Yeah, there's plenty of stages you can kind of stunt on and interact with the background, but Veerfield is the only one where we actually use it for the speedrun. Here we use a multi-frame strat just to mount this wire on the left side here, just like that. Just lets us take this wire perfectly. It's supposed to be this really hard obstacle, but we just use a few frames and it lets us get across it easily, which is always fun.
Yeah, if you go around that stage, it actually has funny, like, little, like, you can't really see it, but, like, invisible, like, guardrails almost that keep you on the stage, so it's a lot easier to take the thicker rails. That one has no helper whatsoever. You just have to do the wire correctly. Very tough.
My muscle memory just kicked in really hard, and I mashed my space bar as soon as I got in the goal on Catapult, because I usually split there. It's funny.
And time.
As if.
That's the last split.
So now we're into beginner extra. There are some pretty cool pause strats in here as well. Really, it feels like almost every stretch of this game has some really flashy stuff, which is really cool. There's not like a super duper boring stretch, but once we get past like beginner extra 7 or 8, beginner extra 8, that would probably be a good time for some donos. I know you probably need to get them in.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting
sounds good.
patiently.
Can't wait for the super self-explanatory stuff. There's always something I want to say. If you don't stop us sometimes too, we will just talk forever. We gotta keep those in mind.
Yeah, that is true.
I could talk about the most boring stages.
Yeah, actually, you could probably just go ahead. There isn't really that much excitement going on in this stretch. Probably
All
just
right,
go
well,
ahead and do a couple.
First thing I want to do is, right before your run, I was like, hey, there's an incentive open for Super Monkey Ball, and then you were ready so fast that it was like, and it's closed. So I want to let everyone know that if you are still looking to donate towards an incentive, we do have more character choice incentives open. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which will be 2 runs from this one, has an incentive to choose between Knuckles and Sonic. Given that Sonic 2 the movie Sonic 2 just came out, which was like basically Sonic versus Knuckles, this feels like a very appropriate bid war. So if you're at all interested, have any skin in that game, please make sure to get your donations in for that. And as well, if you're more into bonus content, we are still trying to meet the Wario Hop Showcase for the Wario Land 4 run happening later today. That is at $117 out of a needed $500. And that is for Mr. Shasta to play the extra minigame in Wario Land 4. It's an infinite minigame, and he is really good at it. He has been timed out at marathons before because they just needed him to stop playing. He just wouldn't die. So definitely would encourage everyone getting some donations in for that one.
Sounds awesome. What the heck?
Right?
Yeah. That's like an inverse speed run, huh? A long run. See how long you can go before those start telling you to shut up.
I will also point out to chat, we've been making some progress. We're getting really close to 1.9K. I would love it if we could hit 2K within the next 2 hours. Do you think we could do that? I think we can. We just need some help. Please help us make that work.
Hell yeah. Get the money in. They deserve it. This place is awesome. So we're just kind of moving along. A lot of kind of weird movement-y kind of stages in this section. A few kind of cool pause strats, but nothing crazy. This stage is really weird. It's really long because we have to go for the green goal on the way back. But we try and do as like neat of a setup on the start here to build speed. That way we can kind of, yeah, just skip a few, but it's nothing crazy. There are people much better at this stage than I, especially some of the old school players of like original Deluxe. They were able to get like 30s and 31s pretty consistently on this stage. This is probably looking like a 28. If you ever hear us reference a time like that, it just means the time remaining on the timer. That's kind of how we track how good our movement was. Like 28.
Bigger the number,
5.
the better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bigger number, the
Works
better.
in reverse.
Here's a kind of cool
time
pause
would be
strat.
60.
This stage is interesting. There's this goal way down in the bottom corner, but we just use a couple frames and snipe it. It's kind of funny.
You could probably do that in real time, but be a little bit less consistent.
A little bit, yeah. I feel like trying to enter from that angle would be pretty much impossible. Whoa! I can't believe I made that. That was that was really lucky and really fast.
Sorry, you usually go for that exact row? It seems like if you get there a little bit early, you're gonna get hard stopped by that cube. That was lucky.
As long as you do good walls, it ends up being really consistent. My walls there were like super sketchy, and I still made it, which kind of speaks to the efficacy of it.
Yeah, 53 in any version of fluctuation is pretty awesome.
Quick turn's a meme. This stage is a meme because you can just hold up and get to the goal, but I want to save half a second, so I'm not going to hold up. It makes it way harder. But, oh no, I actually messed it up.
Oh, danger. It's gonna be fine. Yep. And the slight push, too.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, lose time.
Yeah, that should not have worked in any universe.
That's like IL style.
That was really funny. And getting into Birth here, the last stage in beginner, also one of the hardest.
Absolutely the coolest strat that you would wonder how it isn't paused. Oh,
yeah,
no, I described it.
Yeah, it looks like a pause strat, but it isn't. It just works.
How could that cube possibly send you in about the same way every time? It just doesn't add up to me. Never did.
You just hit the right spot at the right time, and it all works out. So, beginner down, 60 down, and 240 to go, not counting skips. Getting into advanced. Advanced, like I mentioned, advanced for the most part, pretty much easier than beginner. Really, the first 60 of advanced in particular, not too hard at all. There's obviously stages here and there that can be annoying, but advanced for the most part is pretty relaxed, but it does have some pretty cool stuff in it.
It does contain story mode World 4 from Super Monkey Ball 2, which is a notoriously pretty hard split.
Yeah.
As well as some do or die advanced extra stuff too.
Yeah, that's
like the scariest thing for me.
I always kind of describe advanced as like the first 60 stages, you're just kind of breezy, walking in the park, easy, and then you get to A60, which is where World 4, like story mode World 4 starts. That's really hard, and then you have Advanced Extra, which the first section of Advanced Extra is really hard, and the second section of Advanced Extra is even harder. So, Advanced is really easy until the end of Advanced, when it gets really hard, which is obviously a little annoying, but that's life.
Yeah. At least the stuff in Advanced Extra isn't all the way in Master Extra. It'll be really hard to do when you're that tired and nervous.
Yeah.
A run hasn't really begun until you get to Expert in the category this long.
Yeah, in particular, I mean, we're kind of hyping it up a little early because we've still got some time before we get to it, but there's one stage in Advanced Extra, Chaos, which is basically a giant maze stage, and much like Curve Bridge, it's a really important pause strat, but like how Curve Bridge saved 10 seconds, Chaos saves like 35, so you like absolutely have to get it. The good thing is that most of the time when you miss it, it's still salvageable to where you either get a half skip or you can throw yourself off and try again, because it's not like Curve Bridge where you have to get it first try. But it's definitely really consequential, so a lot of the time grinding this category becomes a matter of like getting runs past Chaos, which is annoying because it's 35 minutes or like 33 minutes into an hour-long category.
Gotta love choice frames. Are those the same ones Haruki made?
Yep, yeah, those are the same choice frames from way back.
I have a classic anecdote for those frames that I always love to share.
Go for it.
Which is, Haruki was a Japanese runner and strat hunter, really good at finding some amazing pause strats, historically. And one time I was, like, trying to figure out how to, like, do choice freestyle, like the Gringle Wire. I was just really bad at it at the time. This is, like, a way back. And I was just dying to it repeatedly and looking sad and, you know, yelling and screaming and shouting and crying. And then like an hour later, Haruki came up with like really good choice frames and then showed them to me. So it was like, yeah, I just had to, you know, struggle and look really sad. And Haruki came to rescue me. So
Yeah,
Good story. And
I've had that happen on other stages. They like to help us out, the strat hunters.
yeah, if you look like you're really struggling, maybe there's something faster and easier out there. Whoa, that was close.
Yeah, that was close. I probably should not have lived,
That was a lot of speed.
but I did. This stage is really cool. It's like really, really long when you go around the outside, so we don't. We just... Oh, I died. But
Yeah, I played it around the outside for the first time recently. Funny
It's-
enough, I'd never casually played this stage. I realized recently it's a lot longer than I thought.
yeah, it's
It's
like...
taken like 10 years with that skip.
Yeah, it's like 40 seconds long when you play it the normal way. This is another stage that the design is really cool. You're supposed to kind of bounce up against these walls to skip up to the goal, but we use a frame. If I had hit the full set, we would have gotten all the way up, but even just getting 2 of the 3 frames gets us most of the way up. Skips most of that
Yeah, pretty
stage.
solid.
Yeah, Peter was kind of hitting on it earlier with Sewer, how there are a lot of maze levels. There are a lot of maze levels in this game. Particularly, there's a lot of the deluxe stages where they were like, let's make more mazes. Here's one, dungeon. It happens to be pretty cool because they make it so the minimap doesn't work, which is kind of an interesting little quirk of this stage. Like, that's kind of the design, is that you have to figure it out by looking at it, not by just cheesing it on the minimap like you can with other maze stages. But it's
usually, you know, bird's eye view that you would get if you were solving a maze on like a, you know, restaurant play sheet, you know?
yeah.
You can actually play it first person mode.
Yeah. Hitting into the next section here, 20 through 30, we'll see some Super Monkey Ball 2 stages. I always think it's neat to kind of watch this category because you can just see the sections of Super Monkey Ball 2. Like, it's kind of sectioned off into uninterrupted areas where it's like, oh, now we're just playing World 2 from story mode, you know, but we skip a couple stages. It's kind of interesting because, like, people who have never seen Deluxe, but they have seen Super Monkey Ball 2, every, like, 3 minutes, they're like, oh, I've seen this before. I know these levels.
I know this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, before I knew what Deluxe was, and I like saw the gameplay for the first time, it was like very dreamlike. It was like an alternate universe. Like, I didn't know Deluxe existed when I first saw gameplay of it, like a speedrun.
Yeah.
I'm like watching some levels I've never seen before. I'm like, dang, what is this, like a ROM hack or something? And then like Spiral Bridge shows up, but it's in the wrong background. It's like, it feels like I made it up in my head, but it's a real thing. Imagine it's the same for people who only knew SMB1 as a kid. If they saw Deluxe, they're like, what the heck? Why are they playing my stages, but like in SMB2 physics? It's weird.
Yeah, that in particular is a really big difference. Like, some of the Super Monkey Ball 1 stages end up being functionally completely different when you put them in the SMB2 physics engine. But a lot of them makes them better, and a few of them it definitely does make them not quite as good. So after this stage here, Gravity Slider, we have Inchworms, which is one of the cooler looking pause strats of the bunch. And we absolutely need it because we have to get the red goal on Inchworms, and doing that without pausing is pretty difficult. But we use a little 3-framer to skip all the way to red goal, and it's fast. We're looking for 70, and then 43, and then 41, and we just
Nice.
get right over here. Boom. I like how it kind of unfolds into you. I always think that's pretty cool looking. Alright. Bonus stages, if you haven't noticed by now, never really said it, but bonus stages we do not have to play, so we throw ourselves out. I've done it like 7 times already and never said anything about it, so I hope you guys kind of just noticed and realized, but I probably should have said something. We don't have to play those.
Yeah, if you had to play them, that'd be actually... I've always thought that'd be kind of a neat little side variable that like could have been different in Monkey Ball history. You know, gotta finish the bonus stage goals, gotta get all the bananas on SME1 bonus stages. But certainly in this category there'd be some funny exceptions, like some stages where it's completely impossible to do, you know, all the bananas.
Yeah, in particular there's a bonus stage... Wow, I cannot get through. I'm getting trolled.
Those stoppers are stopping
They
me.
stopped me hard. I lost like 6 seconds to getting stopped. That's brutal. Yeah, there's a bonus stage on Advanced 60 that's like a meme because it's so... Like, we don't have to, but we use a pause strat to get out of it. That's how, like, hard it is to escape, you know, the walls that hold you in.
Yes, it's my favorite bonus stage. I always, as an RTA runner, the way I usually experience bonus stages is, the setup for escaping them, and Paraboloid is the one you really have to work for.
Yeah.
They made those walls high as frick.
It's always kind of interesting when I think about this category because the stages with red goals end up being like really important. Not like they're no more important than any other stage, but it just feels like a lot of the red goal strats are really tricky and really important to get first try. And this is one of them here. This stage is pretty tricky. It's not super hard, but definitely a little funky. Glad I got it first try.
I feel like SMB1 stages are better at making the red goals like harder to get into or the warp goals harder to get into than the blue goals. I feel like a lot of SMB2 stages, the warp goals are a little bit too easy to get to.
I would agree.
You have like serial jump where you can just drop right in the red goal, and you have
yeah, like synchronized comes to mind as well.
V4 is easy enough too.
Yeah, a lot of the warp goals are pretty easy in Monkey Ball 2. Oh, I just messed that up. So here on Versatile Gear, we do what we call an insta-pause, where I just kind of pause really quickly, like that, because any frame between 63 and 56 can be made to work. So we just do an insta-pause and then react to which one we get. So I got 61 there, and I know how to play 61. But it's kind of cool.
Insta-pause, which is where like you're going to unpause without actually checking what the frame is. You end up being in the pause menu for like 1/20th of a second or something. Really small amount of time, basically loses nothing to playing a pauseless, so
yeah,
if you can do that, it's like as good as not pausing.
Yep.
Basically,
that's like one of the little hyper optimizations. We try and do that on as many stages as possible, particularly in short categories. Here's a flashy one here. Looking for 20. Oh, I got 18, so we do this instead. Still pretty. Flashy.
Oh yeah, I mean that's higher skill ending. That was
yeah.
Land.
Yeah, that's definitely harder.
That angle's messed up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was supposed to be less impressive than something else.
Yeah, it's funny. The main strat, you actually just take a beeline to the goal. So like that finished with a 52-7. The main strat, you finished with like a 54-1. So it just shoots you straight in when you do it, properly.
Yeah, snipe the goal with the ball slap. Great.
It's kind of funny.
Though, like we said, it actually is really hard to hit that angle for that backup strat. So.
Yeah, that is.
From artist perspective, I was as impressed, if not more impressed.
This is a cool looking strat. It looks a lot harder than it is. You just land right in the goal through the backside. You don't really have much other than the timer to help you do it, but it's always cool. And this is as good of a time for donations as there will ever be in any run. A50 to A60 is boring and easy and slow, so.
Sounds like donation time.
It does.
It does sound like donation time. I wanted to update everyone first off on the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 incentive. That is again 2 runs from now. Knuckles is currently winning with $25. Sonic has no love. Sonic is at $0. So if you at all love the Blue Hedgehog, please consider donating so that Sonic feels at least a little bit less lonely. Even $5 would help on that one. And I wanted to remind everyone we are raising money for Save the Music. This is an organization that does fantastic work bringing music education to schools. And in case you're wondering, but how does that actually help anyone? Well, research consistently demonstrates that the study of music and exposure to music education at a young age has a profound impact on a child's development. In particular, music education improves self-discipline skills, early cognitive development, basic math and reading abilities, self-esteem, SAT scores, ability to work in teams, spatial reasoning skills, and school attendance, which is like a laundry list for success right there.
Yeah, that's like everything.
Right. And I also want to add that the thing, when I'm doing speedrunning, the thing I compare it to the most is playing a musical instrument, because it's this thing that you practice over and over again to get right, to do really, really well, to have that nuance, to have that skill. So I'm of the personal unresearched opinion that, as well, the more people get into music education, the more speedrunners and better quality speedrunners we're going to have in the future. So I think of this as also an investment in the future of speedrunning. So again, exclamation point donate if you'd like to help support this absolutely fantastic cause.
That was a great pitch. If you don't donate for that, I don't understand. I've died twice now to Polar, a little bit of a funny stage. It's only a second and a half long, but it's really easy to die. And here's that bonus stage we were talking about. That's so hard to escape. We use a frame to do it. You have to build up a lot of speed on these walls.
Ooh, I haven't actually seen this frame properly. I remember I used the up left setup back when I played.
Yeah, this is actually a backup too, that I don't really remember how to do. Okay, it just works.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Nice,
If I got stuck, that would have been really bad. You're going for
Does the main
63.
frame save time?
Yeah, the main frame does save time.
Ah.
That frame is like 3 seconds slower, but it's
Whoa, oh, you can't with a 50, that's wild.
yeah. It's good to have a backup. So this is where advance gets really hard. Like we were mentioning, it's really pretty easy for the first 60, but now it gets really tricky. There's some hard stuff in here, and I'm not really pulling any punches. Like there is an easier strat for Beehive that only loses like half a second, but I really like the fast strat. And I'm really good at it, so I do it.
This strat is really cool. I would do this all the time now too, even in Ultimate.
Yeah.
I finally picked this one up. Took many years of pushing.
Yeah, this stretch just has a lot of really hard stages. The only stage that I won't do the hardest thing on is coin slots, because the hardest thing on coin slots in this game feels a lot harder than it does in Monkey Ball 2. I unfortunately missed the dynamic maze skip here, but that's okay. It doesn't lose very much time.
Low punish. That one's punish is just small enough that some people do that entirely pauses too. Just because you can save a second by not pausing, and then the worst case scenario isn't that bad, but
Yeah, it's not like
still kind of annoying whenever you're locked out.
yeah, it's not like other stages where when you mess it up, you're dead and you lose 10 seconds. You just lose like 6 or 7. This is one of the hardest strats in the game, realistically speaking. I don't find it like Omega difficult anymore, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't just one of the absolute hardest in this game. Really precise setup, really precise reaction. But I nailed it.
Awesome. Yeah, for me, Gronchers, Gringo Launchers, you know, the cool abbreviation. Definitely what makes World 4. I think it defines World 4.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle.
The story mode split where it's from.
Yeah, it's right in the middle and it's really hard. It's just like one of the kind of hallmark hard strats. It's almost like, you know, when you pick up green launchers, that's like when you become a top player. It almost feels feels that way. It's like when you start doing that every time, especially in story mode in Monkey Ball 2, it's like, okay, I'm a top player. A lot of people hate Arthropod.
That we were talking about earlier. Space Arthropod looks great.
Yeah, a lot of people hate Arthropod, so it always feels good nailing that strat, because I feel like there are people watching that are like, yes, dude, I hated that stage. Like, I'm vanquishing.
Yeah. Go. So-called hardest set of splits. You know, he just made that up to make it look cool when he gets everything first try. As normal.
Oh, this
see it happen.
This is a stage a lot of people like think is really cool. It's way easier than it looks, I promise. You just drop in.
Kind of made it look easier than I ever make it look. I need to relearn that stage. It's never looked that simple. That was like mostly boosting. That was great.
You just kind of go and land.
I guess.
All right. Well, advanced extra in the books. Just got to get through Teapot, which is one of the weirder stage designs in this game, in my opinion. I don't really fully understand, but it's all good. And there we go. Advanced Vanquished. We had a really solid ending to Advanced there. And moving
That's how you enter Teapot goal?
Yeah, that's how I do Teapot.
Since when?
Since always. That's always how I've done Teapot. I do it weird, yeah.
What in the world?
Alright, I'd
swooshed under that little crack that opened up?
Yeah.
Unreal.
What? It's just as fast,
I guess,
and it feels better. So, you know how we always said, like, beginner and advanced, the beginning is really easy? Expert is the opposite, where the first 10 of Expert is absurdly hard, and the first 20 of Expert is absurdly hard, and 20 through 30 is absurdly hard, so Expert really does not... It doesn't let you off easy. It doesn't let you kind of ramp into it. You just go. Like, you're... Like, right away, we're already at Exam C. This is one of the most infamous stages ever for being difficult. We are going to use a couple frames to get past the first half, hopefully. And then we just have to do the wire, which is always scary. Oh,
yeah, just the hard part. Oh, yeah.
I got a little trolled by the checkerboard there. Threw me off.
Thank you, thank you.
But, yeah,
it's amazing how frequently the checkerboard does cooperate with you for what it looks like what we're doing, but yeah, no, you can kind of get owned.
Yeah.
Doesn't always behave itself.
Now I have to do this wire while I'm nervous. This sucks.
Yeah, you can appreciate the fact that even though the frames, you know, save a little
Oh
bit,
no!
They do not skip the hard part. They do not skip the hard part of this stage.
I died at the very end. Okay.
Dude, it's lunchtime. You see that over there? It's that monkey mall. Selling.
They're having a good time at Burger Cube.
Wish I was there right now. No, I'll have to settle for Burger Ball.
God, this stage is so much harder when you're nervous. This is actually crazy.
It is. It's a different beast.
Oh my goodness. I just, like... That was a legit sigh of relief. Like, that was more nerves than I've ever had in runs. That was terrifying. Anyhow.
I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, I really didn't want to die again.
Would it help settle your nerves to hear some donations? I can also wait for a better time.
No, that'd be fine, actually. I think, for the most part, we're chilling for, like, the next 10 or so stages.
Awesome! We had $4 come in from Non-Binary Code who said, I was considering making some bad puns, but we don't have time to monkey around. This is a speed run. You gotta stay on the ball. Thank you for that donation. We also have $25 from a tea tree who says, this donation is to let everyone know that the best monkey is Wario! Wahahaha! Don't believe he's in this game, but I can see your point there. We also had $4 from Relayer, no comment, but thank you very much. And we had $5 from Jen the Bug, who says, I'm donating in honor of my son, who has discovered his school's choir and musical theater program and has absolutely blossomed. Donation goes to Sonic, so he knows someone's on his side. It's what my kid would want. That is so sweet, and I'm happy to update everyone that Sonic does have money towards his name now. He is now at $15, so only $10 behind Knuckles in that race. Thank you everyone for your donations. We also made some progress on Wario Land 4. That's now at 136 out of a needed 300, so we don't have too much further to go, but it's coming up in a couple runs from now, so please help us make that happen. Thank you everyone for your generosity.
Heck yeah. Perfect timing, too. Right after Match Shuffle here, we have Jump Machine, which, if you take it normally, is a really easy stage to get the red goal on, but I'm going to do the fast red goal strat, try and get a 46, which is absurdly hard and absurd. Like, there's probably 3 people on Earth who can do it, like, even semi-consistently. It's really, really hard to get this.
Yeah, movement to be proud of if you've put in the work on this stage.
Yeah, it requires some really precise air movement just to get in position for it. Like, just to do that part, and then actually landing the goal.
Stage right here. Incredible.
Like, just getting 46 there is insanely hard. I'm really happy I nailed it. That's one
As expected, you got a 46.
Yeah. I mean, you can just take it easy and get a 41, so it only saves about 5 seconds to go crazy on it, but it makes it about 10 million times harder. It's really difficult. I'm pumped. I'm popping off. Whoa, that was weird. No. Okay.
Yeah.
That was funny. Almost got myself killed.
All works out in the end.
It all works out. That
An
bonus
experienced
stage.
player would know to lead their shot once the combination starts moving there. Well, back up to my friend.
Thank you. Here's a tight stage. This is it doesn't look very threatening, but with how precise this wire movement is, combined with the fact that there's actually a fast cycle here that we're looking to hit, you have to have movement good enough to where you don't die and fast enough to where you get there in time. So you have to be careful enough to not die, but you also have to be fast enough to get there. It's pretty tight, pretty precise.
And it's deceptive, you know, it looks like there's more platform, but we can't really use the actual teeth of the gears. It really is just the wire that makes up the center of the gear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these platforms are basically irrelevant because we have to go fast, so we can't, like, stop on these platforms and collect ourselves. Oh, I'm getting owned. This is a stage where It's kind of like exam, where when I die to it, it's like frustrating. Wow, that one-up text was right in the way. That's annoying.
Wow, terrible timing actually.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Some
exam.
other categories you can route the one-up text so it doesn't show up at a terrible moment. But
True.
Not a category like this.
Yeah, it just kind of comes up when it comes up, and you hope it doesn't come up on gears. But yeah, it's one of those stages where when you die to it, it's a little annoying, but you know, it's hard enough to where I don't really beat myself up for it. Here's a kind of cute pause strat, not necessarily. Oh, oops, my thumb just missed the start
Fast
button.
and precise stages are ones you have to like work on like mentally to make sure you don't let it escalate too much when it happens, because you just kind of want to go faster the next time because you've already lost time. That just causes you to die more. At least for me, anyway.
This is a toughie here, diving. Yes, thank God.
Nice!
Always scary to hold up.
All right, everyone. I apologize. We are facing some technical issues. You've noticed them. We're doing our best to get those sorted out and get the run back to you as soon as possible. The runner has paused the run right at a bonus stage, so you're really not missing much. And again, we'll be back soon. They'll unpause and we'll continue right from where we left off. Thank you so much for your patience. While we're getting that set up, I'd like to remind you why we're here. Mid-Spring Speed Fling 2022, in collaboration with VGMCon Liftoff, is raising money for Save the Music. To donate, go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type exclamation mark donate in chat and follow the link. Additionally, Save the Music is a 501c3 nonprofit charity, meaning that if you live in the United States, your donations may be tax deductible. And furthermore, your employer may match your donation. To learn more about Save the Music, go to savethemusic.org. And of course, thanks to all of your incredible generosity so far, we have already raised $1,921 for charity. We are really close to that 2,000 mark, chat. I'm eyeballing that. We are less than $80 away from 2K. I wonder if we can make that happen during this run. I know our runner, I know Glock's going really fast, but I know chat can be pretty speedy too when they put their minds to it. So, might be something to consider there. I also will say as well, we had a donation earlier from Malayer with no comment. It turns out there was a comment. The comment is actually music good and monkey good. I think we can all agree with that. Super Monkey Ball definitely has some of my favorite songs in all of video games. Underwater Theme's my personal favorite. If you'd like to donate and tell me what your personal favorite song is in Monkey Ball, that would make me so incredibly happy. And speaking of donations, we have a $10 donation from Anonymous. There's no comment on that one, but thank you so much for that generosity. I would also like to update on how some of these bid wars and incentives are going. So the Wario Land 4 Wario Hop Showcase, if you missed the explanation earlier, that is an endless side scroller, kind of like the T-Rex minigame when Chrome is down. It's really interesting. It keeps speeding up as you go forward, and Mr. Shasta, the runner for that, will run that as a bonus if we meet the $300 incentive. We're currently at $136 out of that necessary $300, so we're just under halfway there. I think we can make that happen. It's in a couple runs from now, our upcoming runs. Of course, we're in the middle of our incredible Super Monkey Ball Deluxe run. After that is going to be Sonic 4 Episode 2, Beat the Game. Then Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which has that open incentive as well. And then Wario Land 4. So just jam-packed action for the next few hours. So excited that you're here with us. And that Sonic and Knuckles one, again, is sitting at Knuckles with 20... Yep, Knuckles is current. Oh, just to refresh, I wanted to double check the number here. Knuckles is at $25. Sonic is at $15. So very, very close bid war. If you missed out on choosing your monkey here, hey, maybe this is a great idea. Maybe you can donate on this one. And good news, I've just heard that we are now ready to get back into our speed run. So let's hand it back over to Glock and see some more monkeys and balls action. Let's go.
I can just view it.
I find a place to change this.
I snuck in through a back entrance. I can say more funny things. Like Snake? What? Isn't that a Nokia game? Huh? What?
Speaking of which, I know we were just on hiatus. I'm sure there's some donation stuff to catch up on. This stage is completely meaningless for 30 seconds, so feel free. if we do.
Oh, I was catching everyone up on all the stuff while we were working on the tech
Oh, I
issues.
forgot that you... Oh, man. You just talked for like 6 minutes straight, and then I told you to talk even more. That's terrible.
Oh, I can always talk, though. I just always want to remind everyone about how the donation we're supporting is so incredible. Mid-Spring Speedfling 2022 is supporting Save the Music, a nonprofit charity. Save the Music's mission is to help students, schools, and communities reach their full potential through the power of making music. As one of the leading music foundations in the United States, they support their partner communities by donating instruments and musical technology, providing support services for teachers, and advocating for music education. To learn more, visit savethemusic.org. And if you just want to support them, you don't even have to go that far. ! Donate in chat will get you the link directly that will help you support them and our wonderful cause. Again, we're trying to hit 2K right now. We're getting closer. We're inching ever closer to that. So please help us make that happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're moving right along here through the desert. Not too many like super exciting stages. But the E50s, 50 through 60, kind of like how Peter was talking earlier about how that advanced section is really hard because it's just World 4 for Monkey Ball 2. We're coming up on just World 7 for Monkey Ball 2, which is really, really hard. Like, arguably harder than World 4. It's a really hard stretch.
Between the two of them, World 4 and World 7, definitely up to certain players which one they find harder, but they're the two hardest.
Yep, for sure. And
exciting.
World 4 is weird too because we at least get to skip like a couple stages. You know, we take green goals on launchers and coin slots to skip a couple stages. World 7 has no warp goals, so we just have to play all of it. It has no warp goals until the very end, being 8 bracelets, but other than that, we basically just have to play all of these difficult stages. So 50 through 60, definitely one of the harder stretches of 10. I feel like I've said that like 20 times already, though, so I hope it isn't completely losing all meaning. It's just a hard run, all right? You just have to take my word for it.
You know, I haven't paid close attention to level placements until you started making, like, crosswords about Monkey Ball stages and stuff, but why the heck is Spiral Bridge so much earlier than the rest of World 7? We played Spiral Bridge ages ago.
Ooh.
That was wild.
Yeah, they're always staggered by one, so that's like you get the last stage. The last stage of a section of 10 in the SMB2 sections is always the first stage of the next section. Like A29 is organic form, but then you don't play reversible gear until 12 stages after that. And then
that happens a lot, huh?
Yeah, A39 or 49? 39. A39. Oh, I have to try and do this without.
This is gonna be cool.
Almost.
Almost. You can see it. You can see it happening there.
A39 is Spiral Bridge, and then you don't play the rest of World 7 until... Wow, come on, dude. This button. You don't play the rest of World 7 until later, and then, like, for example, A59 is Pistons, but then you don't play the rest of World 8 until later. So it happens repeatedly. It's interesting.
Yeah, deluxe ordering is very strange. This ROM hack obviously went out of its way to make sure like the level ordering was the same as the Xbox version and stuff in most cases. So
yeah.
But so this is what it was like on the Xbox version, but very interesting.
Here's a flashy
That's
pause
some cool
strat
ideas.
here. You just use those to clip right across the gap, land on this wire on the other side. Kind of an interesting one.
One of the OGs. Pretty old nowadays.
Block is as old as they get when it comes to pause strats. This is one of the godfathers of pausing in this game. This huge stage.
Yeah, people
with
go as far as to say like it's just the first. I don't think I've heard someone say one that they would think is earlier, aside from like, you know, pausing to help you time coin slots or something like that.
Yeah. Well, this is a stage as well that a lot of people, like a lot of the speedrunners, choose to do a pauseless strat here, but I like to use pause strat because it's a little more consistent. Probably a little more difficult, but more consistent, and it can be faster if you have good pausing. Oh, I did it wrong.
And it looks pretty cool too.
I did the adjust wrong. I hit all the frames and then just messed up the adjust like a dummy.
This one's different on second load, right?
Yes, it is. It's like Curve Bridge, how it's different on second load, but it still works. It's just, you just have to bear in mind some differences. So. Oh, and then I missed the frame. Come on, man.
So, backup training hour now. We gotta do the death cycles, a la Celeste style.
Yeah, it's always good to have everything practiced, because anybody can do everything first try, but stages that are different on second try, you gotta make sure you know how to do it, just in case you mess up, like I did. Oh, and I messed up again. What am I doing? This is frustrating. I know what I'm doing.
Call that
wrong.
a devil spiral. I don't know what you're doing wrong, so I'm just along for the ride.
I know exactly.
I'm gonna say the
what I'm
stage
doing
cheated
wrong.
you.
That does make me look better. Okay, should be good now. Yay, I actually remembered how to play.
Nice. Whoa.
Cool.
The gameplay was so cool I had to cough.
Hierarchy's a cool strat here. We skip all the way to the bottom layer, but more than just that, we pull back just so we can land right in the goal directly, as opposed to, like, we not only do we skip all the way to the bottom, we also land straight in the goal. It's really precise falling, but we nailed it.
Best stage in Monkey Ball right here. My personal favorite.
Oh, it's a great stage, yeah.
We love a bracelet
the
in this
heck?
household.
I haven't done that in a long time. I gotta get out of this
Goals
stretch. I'm flubbing.
on speed conservation. This is what it's about.
Yeah, this is what this game's all about. Like you said,
Look at
multiple
that.
goals, multiple ways to get those goals. There we go. All right. World 7 vanquished. We're moving along into this weird stretch of 10, which curvature is the only one that's really like difficult or consequential, because curvature is one of the annoying stages. There's a few of them in this game where the hard part is like 30 seconds into the stage. So it's like you just kind of do nothing for the first half, and then it's like, oh, the part where I can actually die is at the very end. So if you do die, it ends up losing way more time, like I did there. Just wanted to showcase.
Good example.
Yeah, I wanted to showcase. That's why I died there. But then the rest of this,
Careful, like,
yeah, the rest of this section, the 60 through 70, is really not too painful for the most part. Curvature is just always a little bit of high pressure because the wire gets really thin at the end, and it's a long death if you decide to die. So I'm gonna decide to not die this time, hopefully.
Good choice, good choice, good choice.
Oh, dude! Come on. This is kind of what I'm talking about, because now we have to sit through this first half again. Like, it's so boring.
While we're doing that, would a donation make things more
That
interesting?
would make things awesome, actually.
Perfect! I have $3 from Non-Binary Code, who says, another dono for the event crew and the amazing job they're doing. Thanks. Can we get some hearts in chat for Tech and all the work they've been doing? This is my first time at least participating in a hybrid event, so I think it's really cool to see all the work they're putting in to make it so anyone can run in this particular event. So thanks, everyone.
Hybrid seems like the worst possible from a logistical standpoint, because you have to handle both in-person and online. It seems like you're making life really difficult for yourselves, but handling it really well, which is super impressive. Big props. Whoa, whoa. I almost goalposted myself off the edge. Alright, so a little bit of a...
Here. That guy's in his room right now.
True!
He's not at the event.
I wish I was in Minnesota, but instead I'm at home. Yeah, a little bit of a hang up on curvature, but like I said, the rest of the section's pretty easy for the most part, so hopefully I can just move right along. 70 through 80 is pretty difficult, so it's always nice to have some momentum going into that section, because it's a lot of stuff where, like, if you're kind of feeling yourself, it doesn't feel too difficult, but, you know. Momentum is really crucial in this category in general. When you're playing at a record level, you just kind of have to get yourself into, like, a flow state of, like, I know that I'm not going to die. Flow state is really important in speedrunning in general, but in long categories especially. You just have to be able to kind of tap into that calm, I guess.
You have to kind of believe. Well, I've not made a lot of mistakes for a while, so I'll just continue to do that, because that is clearly how, good I'm playing right now. If you let it be like, oh, I'm deeper into this category, so now I'm more nervous with every level, it's going to become critical by late expert.
Yeah.
Bad news. That's where some hard stages are.
Yep. Especially true because, like, the hard sections of expert are no more difficult than the hard sections of beginner or the hard sections of advanced. Hard is hard. It's not like the hard in
Speedrunning
beginner.
hard is kind of equalized. Yeah.
Exactly. So, there's no reason to get more nervous in expert just because it's expert and later into the run. It's just as hard as all the stuff you were doing before. Just, 53 minutes in.
Oh, fighters! I'm a big fighters fan. Look at those guys.
I'm
They're ready to
not.
fight.
That's why I ran off the
What?
side of the stage immediately
You
and
want to
died.
watch them fight?
I didn't.
If you watch them fight, you could get 4 or maybe even 5 bananas. Which could grant you an extra life in the future.
That could be big.
Riddle me that.
We only have 80 lives. I don't know, that seems kind of dangerous.
Yeah, we got momentum coming up here. We could run out of lives on this stage. Careful.
True. We could. I'm going to choose to get it first try, though.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
I love the positive mentality where we just get to decide to do things the right way. This is impressive. I need to learn this skill.
It's a good one to have.
Choices, fail or succeed.
Yeah,
This
choose
is
the one where you
obviously
don't
correct
bet.
choice.
Yeah. Nailed and tangle path. That's always a tricky strat, but feels great to nail it.
Sick.
And here's a little
Yeah, that
new
angle's rough in the World 8 background.
here's a new strat showcase.
Oh.
This one doesn't see very much play, but it's really useful in Ultimate because it's the fastest way to get green goal on this stage. Use 2
That's
frames. Yeah.
This one showed up, and it's like, oh, maybe if you pause it really fast, it'll save time in SMB2. But in Ultimate, you need that green goal, so it's great.
Yep. Because in SMB2, there are frames that get to the blue goal in like just as much time, if not faster. And in story mode, it doesn't matter if you get blue or green. But for this run, you need green, and that's the fastest way to get green. So it's always interesting when stuff like that happens. It's like, yeah, in SMB2, it's like a fine discovery, but in Ultimate, it's like, it's a great discovery. You know, it's really cool. I just totally messed that up. And I'm alive, which is good.
Good save, good save.
Totally messed that up, though. I just forgot what stage I was playing in the middle of doing a really precise pause strat.
Great news for anyone who wants to strat hunt in the Monkey Ball games, by the way. If you find a strat, there are like 3 different cases where it might show up, you know? It
True.
could be useful in story mode, Super Monkey Ball 2, challenge mode, Super Monkey Ball 2, and maybe even Deluxe.
True. This is a cute little thing
Show up
here.
all over the
We
place.
actually take the green goal on serial jump instead of the red goal, because the green goal takes us to checker, which has a red goal. So that's just a little routing thing, where it's like, normally you want to take the red goal whenever possible, but because the serial jump green goal takes us to a red goal, we skip more stages overall by taking the
goal
green
combo?
serial. There's another example of that later in the run in Master Extra that you'll see, but those 2 are the only examples in any of the core Monkey Ball games where you take the green goal intentionally.
Yep.
Like,
Green goal
instead
fans
of the red
popping
goal.
off twice this run.
True.
I love to see it. Well, you know, in cases where they're red goals, I just, something that occurred to me that we've been taking a lot of green goals in
Yeah.
stages where that's the best warp goal to take.
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta go.
Like this stage, you take the green goal. That's because there's no red goal.
Fact. It could have made it longer.
This is one of the weirder pause strats in this game. It is not necessary by any means, but it's really flashy. It lets us skip right over the
The way it
wall.
looks is very janky and cool.
Yeah, it just
Oh.
it looks so weird. you just
Let me
barely,
just scooch over that.
yeah, you just crawl over the top of the wall, just barely,
It's a very short wall too. A lot of work to get over the tiniest wall ever.
right? Does
Just
not
to
feel
show
like
you, play a game without a jump button, and you really have to work to get up. Sometimes. It's the same Mario.
it's true.
Mario would have gone wahoo over that wall.
All right, and we're getting into the last stretch of the base expert, the base 100 stages of expert, 90 through 100, and I won't lie, it's pretty boring and pretty easy. So if we have any donations and stuff that want to be gone over,
Sorry, my brain is trying to get over. We're going into the expert stages. They're boring as a sentence. It's just wasn't quite ready for that. I've been looking at these bid wars. We're looking at Wario Land 4 is at $149 out of 300, which is $1 short of halfway there, which is just like so close to being able to just say it's halfway there. So if you're looking for a reason to donate, Wario Land 4 Wario Hop Showcase is definitely a worthy cause. And of course, our actual charity is a worthy cause. We're coming up on that 2K. We're under $80 left, but I can't make that number move, chat. You've got to make the number move. You're the ones who can donate, and then I will read your donations, and that number goes up, and it's this beautiful cycle. Like when you remember learning about cycles in biology, this is the one for donations. As you donate, the money goes to charity. I get to read your comments on air. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you'd like to participate in this ecosystem, !donate in chat, and that's the link you're looking for to get this process started.
heck yeah, get to do guillotine there. It's like one of the most, I guess, famous or most talked about pause strats. I feel like a lot of streamers, myself included, when somebody asks about pausing, that's kind of the stage you use to describe it. Like the idea of getting guaranteed inputs to do the guaranteed thing. It's a very flashy and obvious example of that. It's always fun to see it in a run setting.
Closure too, you know. Not using the threat of that stage to knock you straight into the goal. I'll show you guillotine.
This is a cool stage here, Orbiters. Underrated. In this background, it's actually really precise to get like the best possible time on Orbiters to really sneak into that goal like I did there. A lot of people really struggle with getting those like decent 54s, like 54.18, 54.2. Always feels good. It's an underrated stage in terms of doing the fastest possible thing.
Yeah, I forgot how. Came back to that stage recently. What the heck? You can get 54s in this stage? It's fricked up.
Right?
Precise.
And asterisk here, the last of the 100 base expert stages. That means after this we will have 50 to go. We're getting to the end here, but expert extra and master extra are all really difficult. Master extra isn't too bad, but the last legs of this run are really hard. So ends up being a lot of really cool and a lot of really hard stuff in this last leg.
You said asterisk here. I thought you were like making a point about how it wasn't actually the last level coming up, but then I realized that was just the name of the stage. You weren't putting an asterisk on it. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the stage is just called asterisk. Isn't that something?
Strata really can't die on a late expert stage.
Yeah, Strata has a pause strat to get to the goal, but it's a little slower. I'm gonna just for the sake of it, I'm gonna go for the hard pause strat. One of the hardest strats in the game. Nailed it.
Beautiful.
That is actually awesome. That is
actually just
I'd
the
argue,
hardest falling strat in the game, and you'll
yeah,
never know why.
I'd argue that's one of the 2 hardest strats in the entire game. To just nail it first try is pretty crazy.
Basically, you'd have to see how you died that stage to know how hard it is. It looks so wrong and cruel when it doesn't let you in.
Yeah.
But when it lets you in, it actually looked pretty not too bad. So, you know, you'll never really know, Chad. The pain.
Yeah, it's definitely a little misleading to just get a perfect looking one first try that works, because a lot of time you get perfect looking ones that don't. We get to play a little basketball here in free throw.
Awesome.
It's an interesting stage, kind of like we were talking about earlier, how warp goals are actually easier than non-warp goals. I find the red goal here a lot easier than taking the blue or green goals. Red goal just feels natural. You kind of get to just
anyway.
Yeah, you kind of just get to hold up into it, whereas blue and green you have to pull back really hard. Oh, here's another really long, really big maze stage that we're gonna skip all of. If you haven't gotten enough of skipping maze stages, there's always more in Monkey Ball. Always more mazes to skip.
Is owned. The only maze stage we didn't own was Jolt Channel, unfortunately. We totally did play that maze.
True, yeah. The walls are just too big. There's nowhere to build speed. Alright, now into SMB1 Expert Extra. I really, again, kind of like Advanced Extra, I really hyped up the Expert Extra section and then just kind of nailed it. That Expert Extra 1 through 10, the SMB2 Expert Extra section, is one of the hardest stretches of 10, maybe the hardest stretch of 10 in the entire run. To just kind of cruise through it is not normal by any means.
Super buffed by that Strata strat, though, we got first try, and then had to you know, describe how hard it was supposed to be.
True, yeah.
So, you know, a little misleading.
No doubt. SMB1 Expert Extra, on the other hand, much easier for the most part. There's definitely some tricky stuff in it, but for the most part, nothing nearly as hard as like Strata or Charge or Giant Swing that we just did a moment ago.
While we're getting through a few of these, would you like one more donation?
Sure, go ahead.
We had $10 come in from Topher Cakes, who says, Wario, 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 in all caps. And I did double check just to be sure, and that did in fact go towards the Wario incentive. So I can now say we are over halfway towards meeting that incentive. Thanks everyone, please keep it coming.
That would be awesome if that had been for like the Sonic one. That would have been really funny. Alright, cruising right along here. We get to see, after Magic Hand here, we get to see AV logo for the 3rd and final time. There are stages you play multiple times. I'm sure you've noticed Blur Bridge we played 3 times. Hard Hitter we just did for the 2nd time a moment ago. And now AV logo for the 3rd and final time. For some reason, SMB1 repeats those stages, and Deluxe sticks with that trend of repeating those stages.
Who is Deluxe to disagree with SMB1's, you know, addiction to Hitter?
True.
Blur Bridge.
And the next stage here, Daluma. The next stage, Daluma, is probably one of the most kind of famous strats from back in the day as well. I remember some old GDQ runs getting really hype over the Daluma skip. You're supposed to wait for this hammer to knock these discs around, but we just, you know, we do a little pausing and skip the whole thing instead.
Wow, smashed into the party ball too. Not nice.
I like how you get to watch it.
Pause strats.
Yeah. It's not very elegant, that's true. You just get blasted right into it.
I feel like some of the SME1 versions you kind of stroll in once you get up there. Not that one, no.
Not by any means. Yeah, we're cruising into Master here, which the first leg of Master, 1 through 10, isn't very difficult, but then 11 through 20 is blisteringly difficult. I don't want to keep using the phrase one of the hardest sections of 10 in the run, but I don't think I'm lying, I promise.
They do show up a lot, especially as you get late.
This swing bridges is really bad. I can't believe that got there. That had no speed and somehow still got to the goal.
You know, it's solid 50-50. That's just gonna let you, even if you're way too low, obviously.
True. Passage. This is one of the flashiest, like, easy strats in the game. I could probably teach anybody to do that strat in 5 minutes, and it just looks so cool and so smooth. But it's really...
And some people might not have even known there was a green goal there, so big plot twist if you were still not in the know.
True. Yeah, actually, it's one of the most
Sure,
well hidden green goals in this game, for sure.
Was not expecting the Super Monkey Ball of all games to have a plot twist in it. Given this game's story is pretty straightforward, but you know what? I'm surprised and I'm excited. I learned something today.
Alright, yeah, we're just kind of in the waiting room for 11 through 20 here, being the Super Monkey Ball 1 Master stages. They are much more difficult than the Super Monkey Ball 2 Master stages on average. I don't know if they, in between Monkey Ball 1 and 2 realized, hey, we made that really hard for no reason, and they toned it down for SMB2 or what, but the SMB1 Master stages are absurdly difficult.
It really, they did two major things, which was they didn't give you a lot of access to the master stages, and then they made the master stages, like, borderline random if you don't know what you're doing, which is kind of awesome. Some stages just kind of knock you around until you run out of lives. It's great.
Yeah,
We
for sure.
accept that, of course.
For sure. I am going to go for the pauseless clock face strat. It's much harder than doing the pause, but it's a second faster, and it looks really cool. It feels really cool, and nailed it. That always
That
feels
looks really
good.
cool. Did it feel really cool?
It did! It felt
That's
as
awesome.
cool as expected. And now here we are, SMB1 Master, one of the
Master.
one of the
Looks as
hardest
hard as it is,
sections.
too.
Yeah,
You see those like vines and stuff in the background, you know something crazy is gonna happen. The
Yeah.
music gives off the impression too.
the temple, the obelisks, it's all so intense in this section.
I'm scared.
And there's a lot of pausing too. It's a lot of sections are hard because there's a lot of hard pauseless movement, but in this section there's a lot of hard pausing and a lot of hard pauseless movement. So it really has it all in terms of difficult
Just above.
stuff.
Worlds. And Master. Wow.
Stamina Master, probably the hardest one. You have to hit 2 frames to mount this wire well, and then one of the hardest adjustments in the game to get down to this spiral and into the goal. Oh, it smacked the
And
goal
just
post.
like that.
It kind of goes to show, Felt like I did it perfectly, landed into the little spiral nicely, and it just wasn't good enough. Hopefully I can get it here. There we go. All right.
Dude, with an adjustment that good, can't go wrong.
True.
Looked fine to me.
This is also one of the coolest stages in the game. Everybody calls it fruit roll-up because it looks like fruit roll-up. Pretty self-explanatory. But we just get whacked by this thing.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of stages that just look like this.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's just great presentation.
Yeah, the design philosophy on a lot of these SMB1 Master stages is really cool. Like here we get the Dole sponsorship.
Let's go. They brought it back in the ROM hack. Huge.
True.
Played this on the Deluxe Xbox version. No Dole logo. Very sad.
Rollmaster,
Am I supposed to know what to eat then? I don't know.
you're supposed to follow a long cycle on Rollmaster. I don't know what they were really thinking. They make the stage that throws you around, and the goal's right there. Skip is kind of inevitable. I'm sure everybody who even played the stage once as a kid was like, yeah, you can definitely cheese this. And cheese it, you can't. Speaking of cheesing it, here we're looking for 2 frames to just get right around this edge. And boom. Just lets us sneak into that sideways hanging goal.
That's the sneak then, I remember. I was just kind of right into the goal there. That was great.
Now, Bridge Master, one of the most infamous stages in Monkey Ball. We actually use frames to skip it, which is always fun. Looking for 85, 45.
I made these.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, baby.
I was hoping I
I
could
made
maybe
these
get...
frames.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
They're made for Deluxe in too. No problem. I don't make a lot of strats. That's awesome. I kind of forgot. I can't believe they're still in use.
They are indeed.
They didn't get power creeped out of the meta or anything. That's crazy.
I don't know how they would. All right. And we are moving into the last stretch of 10 for real this time. I know it said final stage about 5 times already, but for real now, Master Extra, there's only 10 stages, and we actually only play 6 of them because there's a lot of warp goals in this section. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. And like I mentioned earlier,
Warp goal comboing.
yeah, like I mentioned earlier, how we took the green goal on Serial Jump, we're also going to take the green goal on Striker, which lets us go to Planets, which has a red goal. So instead of taking the red goal here, we're going to take green, get it nice and clean. Let's do Planets, which is a really cool strat, a little flashy, a little interesting.
Very large scale and awesome. Let's make it happen. Oh, complex planets. Let's go.
That should be good. Oh, the glitch goal!
Whoa, yeah, you were right. Yeah, true.
The glitch goal. That's awesome. And we kind of referenced this stage earlier as well when we said how the warp goals feel easier than the blue goals sometimes. That's definitely one where the green goal feels like the easy one. Just gotta get through Dizzy system here. Alrighty, and now the final stage. Normally it's a GameCube, but this game was made for the Xbox and the PS2, so it's a die instead.
What the heck? Why isn't it an Xbox and or a PS2?
It's
or
a,
Xbox fans.
yeah, right? That'd be cool if it was like a PS2, but I don't know if it would work very well.
Yeah, it's kind of flat.
Oh, I fell! Oh my goodness. I haven't died on that stage in a while. You want to try and avoid the holes on this stage. They don't kill you if you get into them. Like, they're not so deep that you can't escape, but they do make it a little sketchy sometimes. We want to try and avoid... Wow, I'm trying a little too hard to avoid them, though. Getting myself killed. Just throwing in a couple more deaths for the road, because this is the final stage of final stages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about getting to hear this song a bit more. This is
I
fantastic.
love this song, yeah. It's probably my favorite song in the game. Alright, now the final turn brings us to the tippy top, the 1, and Nat. Time on goal here.
1 pip.
And time. That's it.
Die. 30-30, beautiful number to end it off on.
Yeah, a little 30-30.
That.
And that is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe into Ultimate.
Wow, that was a lot of stages in only an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, not too
Holy
bad.
moly.
Not too bad. For reference, record is a 106.01 these days. I just got it a couple days ago, which is cool.
Nice.
I don't know if I want to keep pushing it further right this moment, but I'll always come back to this category. So it's never done. Even if I stop playing it for a few months, it'll always be back. You know, never quite
It's quite
done.
a fun category.
Well, I should enter the thing. And yeah. Oh, that was an L. What the heck? I thought I did an M.
That happens, I swear. There's like ghost remnants of like a letter sometimes.
Yeah, like a
That happens
buffer.
to everyone way too often for that to be a totally functional thing.
Cool. First place. Look at that.
What? The
What
best
a high
ever?
score. I beat II by 4 million.
That.
That's pretty cool.
What a noob.
All right. Well,
Damn that guy. Why is Gon the lowest score?
all right. That's going to do it for my run here, though. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you to the tech team for getting everything figured out. Sorry, there were some tech issues. I'm just glad they weren't my fault, you know, selfishly. Thank you, Peter, for the commentary. Thank you, Charbunny, for the awesome hosting. You were great. And that'll do it. Follow my Twitch if you want. I stream Monkey Ball pretty often. glockinmytoyota. I'll drop a hey guys in chat. You can go ahead and follow if you want. No pressure. But yeah, if you like Monkey Ball content, I do it. Thank you so much for having me, everybody, and peace.